Unhinged would be the first one.
Okay.
Unexpected, and I'm trying to think of like a really good last word without spoiling anything. Green.
Hannah, it's so nice having you here.
Thank
Please,
you.
can you tell us 3 words to describe book 2?
Oh, 3 words to describe book 2. Chaos. Surprises.
Okay.
And wicked.
Amazing. So what dog, so trendy. Did you expect the reception your books had here in Mexico?
I didn't expect like anywhere. I think I'm always blown away when anybody's like invested in something that I've made, because I'm like, I love it. It's wild that other people love it. Yeah, it's so wonderful. I get tagged in posts all the time. Beautiful fan art. And the like excitement is so wonderful and amazing. I didn't expect it anywhere, so it's everywhere's been a surprise. This is just as wonderful.
I'm pretty sure you're going to be amazed tomorrow at your presentation. The pre-presentation was just crazy. So
I can't wait.
I'm pretty sure you and your parents are going to be mind blown.
So I can't wait. I'm excited.
I'm
excited.
Do you have any other project on mind that goes beyond fantasy?
Oh, you know what? I love historical romance. There's nothing like planned.
Okay.
But if I ever stepped outside of fantasy, I would love to do a historical romance one day. I love those books. They're my comfort reads when I'm like not wanting anything really heavy. I just want something I know is going to end happy, and there might be some stressful stuff in the middle, but I know where we're heading. Yeah, I would love to do a historical romance one day. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I love writing in fantasy. I'd love to do an urban fantasy one day, one that takes place in our world, just intertwining magic. I did write a short story for an anthology that's coming out. I don't know exactly when, and I don't know if I'm supposed to announce it yet. So I'm not going to say any of those things, but it was kind of an urban fantasy vibe, and it's just a short story, but it was really fun. So yeah, maybe someday.
Which character of the Assistant to the Villain world you can relate the most?
Oh, I feel like at first glance, probably Evie. Evie is a very optimistic person, and she's very bubbly. And she's been through a lot, but she still finds things to be positive about. I love characters that, like, I think it's so natural and normal for a character, and very realistic for a character to be jaded by a bad experience. But I also think it can be realistic for a character to kind of go the opposite end, and go like almost too positive after having like a not great experience. So I love Evie in that way, because I really relate to her in that. I think like when I go through something difficult, I'm inclined to be very positive, even if I maybe shouldn't be positive. And that's why she's been fun to write, because it's not always, being positive isn't always the answer to everything. And that's something she's learning and something I learned. So yeah, I think probably Evie, but I see myself in all my characters for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there any you relate the less, but you like sometimes to behave or react or think like?
Oh, you know what? It's hard for me to say, because I do think I put pieces of myself into all of them.
In all of the characters.
I truly drop my own traits into all of them. They are like my children. Like they've all gotten something from me. Yeah, it's hard for me to say. I think the one I'm probably least like, in theory, is probably the villain, but I also have a lot in common with him. Like I think in demeanor, I'm definitely pretty opposite to him, in that he's very grumpy and very stoic, and that's sort of how he processes things. But there's other things about him that I relate to. But I think on surface level, probably least like the villain, but also if we go deeper, there's some things that we have in common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you and I have something in common, that we're Swifties.
Yes.
So do you have in mind some Taylor Swift song that can go with Evie's personality?
Oh, yeah. I think that Evie's very mirrorball.
Okay.
I think that's a big song for her. I think that somebody said that there's always the Archer is like a big song from Lover, and I love that song. And somebody said there's always a mirrorball character and an Archer character together. Okay. And I would say the villain's probably the Archer. and Evie is Mirrorball.
Amazing.
So like I was like, oh, perfect.
And that was the next question. So
Oh, perfect.
you already answered.
I answered
Thank you so
it for you. Amazing.
And just to finish, now 3 words that we can describe book 3
Oh, okay. Without spoiling anything, unhinged.
without spoiling.
Unhinged would be the first one.
Okay.
Unexpected, and I'm trying to think of like a really good last word without spoiling anything. Green.
Okay. Now I'm thrilling. Now I'm terrified. What can we expect?
You're like, elaborate. Explain those words to me. I'm like, oh, if I could.
Okay. Thank you so much.